I'm a Binns Melander, a composer, pianist, jazz musician, and also channeler, I guess. Karen, my sister. I'm trying to figure this out. If I hear people talking to me in my mind, you, Jody, Michelle, especially my overself, Holy Spirit, just me in the Spirit, whatever. It doesn't make sense. How can someone talk to you in your mind and make sense and yet have no idea they're talking to anyone? Just heard you saying everybody knows you do this and yet they hate you for it and like you for it and are really jealous that you maybe do this. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just have an overactive imagination. Well, if people talking to me who have no idea they're talking to me, then there must be other people who do the same thing. I only hear people talk to me, I don't talk to them. Sure, I pray to God, but it's just like everyone else. There's no conversation. Yet Mary just said, that's the way it is. And I don't know I'm talking to you, but of course, I do the same thing. People talk to me in my mind. This means everybody is connected to everybody else. I do watch myself doing it because it sort of freaks me out. Bach said, Binns, you've done a lot for music. You're maybe picking. People realize music isn't of the past or future. We're through so-called going forward. There's no forward to go to. We write and play music we like if it's written 100 years ago or yesterday. And the person may not know it was written 100 years ago or yesterday. Is it good? Does it make sense? Maybe it sounds like me or Prokofiev. So what? Will your music be played 100 years from now? Probably not. And some composers are better than others. But your friends may say Scott Joplin, better than me, and think it's better music. It is better for them. Jazz is wonderful, especially because people improvise. No two versions of a piece are the same. That's the point, and people play written music like mine differently from each other. We aren't machines. Anyhow, you can't compose like me. You aren't me. Now, is what I'm reading really Bach talking to me? You would say, of course, Bach. If he's still around somewhere, I'm sure he has no idea what I'm writing. Yet I heard him in my mind, and I just wrote it down. And yet I'm still planning a little what I was writing. So I guess it was just me. This ability of me freaked me out for years. If it's even a little true, then everyone knows everyone else, what everyone else is, and we're on speaking terms with them. Now, my main inner voice told me to never tell anyone I'm talking to what I think they're thinking, period. I'll probably start telling anyone maybe if I can do this or if it's just a show. I have no idea whether I'm at all accurate or whether there's real communication with other persons and me. It sort of means there's no real past. People are sort of the same now, 100 years ago, or if they're dead and in heaven. I have a feeling some people may sort of demand my telling them what they're saying to me in my mind, if I choose to listen to them in my mind. My voice tells me, don't ever do this for anyone. You may stop writing this sort of thing down, and you'll probably choose to completely climb out. Or you can say, well, I'm probably making it all up. I do have a feeling there's a sort of synchronicity going on. We peruse that particular magazine, book, or TV program that we're meant to do, or somehow find it relevant to what's on our mind. I was supposed to write this very essay right now, July 20th, 2025. Also, this is my opinion. The future and new devices are finding things out we didn't know are creating new works of art. Music is important, but really, it's already been done somewhere in the universe. The important thing is love and caring and relating to other people. Now, that could be writing and playing music and reaching people emotionally or somehow that way for me. But what matters is right now. Sure, maybe it's already been done somewhere in the universe, but I personally don't know those things, and it matters to me, the United States, the world right now, what I'm doing, what you're doing, and what everyone is doing. And I couldn't have written this essay at any time but now, not yesterday, not tomorrow. Jesus said it's all about love. Maybe it is. Why do we sort of choke up, almost cry when something touches it? Hello, Karen. Yes, I'm nuts. I hear voices. The main one I call my higher self or Holy Spirit or whatever. He talks to me absolutely anytime, 24/7. Therefore, in a way, he must just be me, except people don't hear voices or someone talking to them who's not there unless they're crazy. I'm not crazy. The voices or my higher self is telling me. We have wanted you to talk about this for ages. We understand why you don't want to. Obviously, it's actually very hard to do what you're doing without freaking out. You can't tell anyone because they either won't believe you and think you're making it up, or they'll put you in a mental hospital. It's like another kind of reality. People, anyone, everyone can talk to you in your mind, and they have no idea they're talking to you. They make sense. They won't give you data, for example, where they are, what's going on with them. For example, you, Karen, are saying, why didn't you tell us this a long time ago? I know you did. You wrote essays to me of Mary or Jesus talking or Michelle. Well, to this day, we don't know how you can cope with being able to do this and not going off the deep end or starting to be irrational. We know if you start talking about this, no one, or maybe no one will take you seriously about anything, and you may be laughed at. Yeah. And yet everyone wants to be able to read minds, anybody's mind. And yet those people are not aware of talking to you in your mind. Pamela Arlen is saying, Binns, it's about time you talked about this. We were just waiting for you to open up about this reality. I do the same thing. You're one of us. You thought for ages this was an aberration, that no one but you did this. But maybe this is really Pamela talking to you. You don't know, even though you know I'm psychic, whether I'm aware at all that I'm talking to you. Of course, in a way I'm not. I couldn't function if I was conscious of myself talking to anyone in my mind while just functioning as a human being. But I'm telling you, I do the same thing. Actually, I'm very aware of you, Binns. We're sort of in a special club. We hear people talk to us, Jesus say, or for me it's only dead people. Or maybe we've been told to only pretend that dead people talk to us, not your friends, colleagues. We know people thought this, they'd freak out. You're doing this because you've been allowed to break the barrier. If what you say is sort of true, then it changes reality forever. We people know that you can't really put something over on someone, or they may know it's only a front. It's their line. It's called intuition. Yeah, it's especially true today when everybody is lying constantly. And a person like you or me knows it. If you say, people, especially women, are being raped, forced to have sex, and never say who's doing it to them, that changes things. But then people lie to you telepathically, too. You didn't know I was a lesbian until you heard me say it over the media. I only tell you most of the time what I want you to hear, just like we always do. So I don't know. I'm talking to you. I won't say anything I wouldn't want you to know. I won't tell you. What's the point? Who knows? Of course, I know what you're doing is very important, because if even a little of it is true, it says there is life beyond the grave. Michelle, your late wife, does talk to you, and your mother. If that's even somewhat true, though, Michelle and your mother don't know they're talking to you and won't tell you anything about what life is like beyond the grave. How could they? It would freak you out. It's rough enough dealing with everyday reality without someone talking to you about something you simply don't know anything about nor are supposed to. Jesus talks to me, others. Do I know they know they're talking to me? Maybe I assume so. Jesus talks to you, and you know for the sake of your sanity that he has no idea he's talking to you. Now, you're just making it up. You still don't know. You think Pamela Arlen has no idea who Binns Melander is, unless you somehow listen to something you put on YouTube. And that's possible, but unlikely. You can do what you're doing. hear a gal, Pamela Arlen, talk to you in your mind. You can stop this conversation anytime you want, and it has a little effect on you. You've been doing this for years. I, Pamela, have been doing this sort of thing since I was 5 years old. You only know this because you've heard me say it on YouTube. You can help but hear me or whatever. Anytime, it's simply a given. You may listen to one person or spirit who sort of directs the whole thing. Yeah, I'm not spirit. You don't know if I'm real or just your imagination. I say what you're doing is incredibly important. You still think really that you're making this all up, but you've grown not to care. It's something you do. You hear people, anyone talk to you, and you can turn it off instantaneously. You've decided you actually won't tell anyone you're talking to what they're telling you in their mind. That's why you never talk about this. What gives you the right to delve into people's private thoughts? Absolutely true, but you have no choice. It's there. Actually, you may choose to deny all this. Say you just have a very active imagination. No one can know. You can say, oh, you just like to put people on, or whatever. If the Pope asks you to tell him what he's thinking about him, you would say, I can't or I won't tell you. And don't try to exercise me. You take this all very lightly. You have to be able to function, to be able to just turn off the voices for half an hour, whatever. You know we're always there. You can't make yourself get rid of us. It's part of you. Now you're sure you've opened a can of worms. Do you have to write what you're writing right now? No, actually. We're very happy you're opening up. You have no idea what will result in your sort of coming out or something. You know who you've told about this capability of yours never talks about it or acknowledges that you've ever mentioned it, except Jody, who says you made it all up to get money from the government because in 1975 you tried to commit suicide and really hurt your right hand in the process. It caused you to be forced out of the Marine Band and caused you to only be able to play the piano poorly for years as you worked to regain your chops, as they say. You play well now, but you didn't play well for years, although a lot of people don't really believe this. I've opened up another can of worms. Well, here goes. I've only written this on paper, but I'll probably put it in an email to you, Karen. You may get bored and with my writing and not finish reading it. I don't blame you, Binns. Hi, I'm not Binns. I'm the guy in the sky or something. Binns is worried. I'm talking. Binns isn't sure if he's psychic. I guess he is. The guy in the sky, loves him doing this. Binns is trying to figure out what I'll talk about. Well, I work with him to figure out what he thought of the RNA vaccine and transgender surgery. And now Israel. He's very pro-Israel, and I am also. He doesn't understand how anyone can take the word of Hamas. They all say we want to destroy Israel. So, of course, they'll lie about everything if it puts them in a good light. Well, anyhow, yeah, I'm talking, not Binns. Ben doesn't care what you think. Ben saw a documentary on Sophia Loren. Wow, what a gal. And she met Carl Ponte when she was 16 and married him. He was 16 years older than her, married with kids and all. Yet it worked to Sophia Loren's advantage. He made her a star, and I guess he directed a number of films she was in, and in so doing helped his career, his poor first wife. I have a feeling this thing with Jody is going to go to trial before a judge. I guess she'll claim I need her so I don't get scammed out of my money or leave the stove on, or she'll push the fact that I'm still considered paranoid schizophrenic by the military. Since my 1975 suicide attempt when I injured my right hand. I claimed I heard voices and I thought people knew what they were saying to me in my mind. When I know now, of course, they have no idea what they're saying in my mind. My voices went away immediately after I injured myself, but came back in 2015 and have been back ever since. Of course, I can always say I'm making this up and can definitely not say what anyone is telling me, be they alive or dead. It's sort of fun, really, but I don't listen in on anyone's thinking very often. He just listens to Joe, the guy in the sky. Talk to him and tell what various people are thinking. Also, he thinks it's sort of intrusive to listen to someone talk about themselves in his mind. My guy in the sky can't go over that I'm actually doing this. Binns thinks no one will really be interested in what he's writing. It's just sort of a diary. Actually, me, his over self, thinks people will be very interested because maybe Binns is making this all up about me. Who is not Binns? Talking, but other people just don't and can't think this way. Binns does think he's done some videos with Larry Huntington of him reading essays he wrote on YouTube that might be putting his life in danger. But he's quite sanguine about this. He's 84 now, and most of his friends and colleagues are dead, and so will he be any time or in a few years. Yes, a lot of people, Palestinian people, might be quite upset by some of his videos. So what? As they say, what? Patrick Henry said, give me liberty or give me death. It's important to say what you believe is true. I may stop anytime. Now, this is Michelle. Hey, I'd like to talk. I was looking forward to when you might do this. Heck, I'm sort of famous now because I was the wife of Binns. Don't let that thought go to your head, Binns. I'm sorry for Jody, cute, still relatively young, a lot of luggage from the past, bad people. You enjoyed going to lunch with her. If only the people would see this old guy, you with a young, sort of middle-aged, very good-looking woman. You think people are jealous? I don't know. When she started to give you a hard time, you thought you could just dismiss it from your mind. She made sure that didn't happen, huh? We had some good times. All those concerts in Concerts, music in the mountains, community concerts in Auburn and Sacramento, since no longer happening. People we got to know, Charles Attill, the cultured Englishman, we saw it in Concerts here. Terry Brown of Music in the Mountains, going out to eat after every concert, in concert at Sereno's, eating with Peggy and John Brewer, concert goers and friends. We got to know Ken and Julie Harden pretty well, and Keith Porter. I had that job at a little store in Folsom with Mary Lee Hadjack, sold quite a bit of my woodburning stuff. You were always working, studying your mind on big stuff. I almost thought you forgot about me at times. You were so engrossed in composing music, playing jazz, trying to get that right hand to play better. And it did, almost imperceptibly. And it took years and years. Finally gave a concert in the Beach Room in, I think, 2004. Almost 30 years before you played pretty well. I hear you now. I can't believe. I don't think you know how good you are. Maybe you made me say that. Ha! We're all so proud of you up here. We all spend a lot of time thinking about friends, family down on earth. I won't go into this, what we do up here, but it's sure more mental thoughts. It's still great. New things happening all the time. Binns, your father, mother, my father, mother, lots and lots of others. We do worry about Earth. Are you going to end it or blow up Earth, so to speak? It would certainly be awful, but we are up here. It wouldn't be the end of things. Obviously, we're all up here. Yeah, it was good getting to know David Gordon, that sort of famous baritone singing in the Bach Festival as soloist, and then find out he sang some lighter things, and we got a CD of him singing and playing guitar, as I remember. This is your mother, Binns. You're sort of getting used to the idea you can write down what you hear from us with your so-called voices. We're doing okay. Dad's bored. I really can't talk about so-called heaven. It's another existence. We're not just concentrating on what's happening to you, but after all, we're human. Earth is our main focus, but we have a future on Earth too. If there was an Earth to go to, which nobody really knows, you could all blow it up any time. After all, you almost did in 1963 with the Cuban Missile Crisis. I think God must sometimes wonder if humans are worth it all. a perfectly good world, billions of years old. All sorts of life, plants, animals, and humans could wreck it all very fast. But then God is only human. We're so much more like him than anything else. Anyhow, there are probably humans or intelligent creatures like humans all over the galaxy. Certainly that is a possibility. We care a lot about our family, Karen and Bridget and Maury and Aaron and Yvonne and everybody else in our main family. You are doing very incredibly well. Victoria has all sorts of future, as do Isaac and Megan and Uli and Madi. Binns, we don't want to talk about you because you're 80 and who knows how much longer you'll be down there. But what you've already done, your music may explode in popularity, and you've written so much music which has not yet been performed. Karen, your poetry is so good. I don't know why the two of you are so talented. But then Dad and I really achieved quite a bit when we were down there. Dave has affected a lot of people know with Knights of Columbus, and his real focus is his kids, and they're all doing very well. I think you, Binns, will get tired writing my words, and you really believe you're making it all up. But you've heard voices since 2015, and you just don't know what it's all about. We don't know either. Well, goodbye. Hi, this is Michelle. Your mom doesn't want me to do this. She says, no one wants to hear what we think about things in general. We're no more qualified to speak than anyone else. Anyhow, we don't know how Binns is doing this. We aren't talking to him, but somehow it seems real. I don't get it. This is Michelle. No, I don't like the vaccine now. Everyone is corrupt. They know it hurts people. It only appears to help for a while. I left for a while to talk on the phone. Well, I pretty much agree with Binns on most things. Probably he's just doing this. It's not me at all. He doesn't know. Yeah, I say yes, this is Michelle. I don't agree with Binns. I don't think anyone should have an abortion. Almost ever. But I don't like overturning Roe versus Wade. I think it's incredibly arrogant of men to decide the big one for women. Most women want to be able to have an abortion in some circumstances. Binns keeps throwing away the people and causes I gave to. He's got too many other things on his mind. But all of a sudden he'll send to 15 organizations when he decides it. I just know when he throws away all that I don't care. I'm disillusioned with the Democrats, too. Nobody seems to be paying attention to how we're still making people get vaccinated, even little kids. It's awful. Karen, I've always been jealous of you. I don't want to talk about it. You do so much better in poetry than I did. You're so much smarter than I am in certain things. I like that Binns is doing so well with his music now. He's writing a lot. People respect him a lot more for his music, or he thinks they do, and it seems they do. I listen to him play jazz. Wow, he never played that way. He plays Brahms, Schumann. Wow, but he should concentrate on writing that music. He doesn't know how much time he has. It's just possible all sorts of his stuff that have not been played will be. Maybe not. He enjoys composing music, and he's working on a piano concerto. He doesn't know if it's any good. I don't either, but he should complete it. I like that he's doing more than arranging tunes now, but the arrangement of tunes may be what he's remembered for. He thinks he's writing all this because I'm just talking about him. He doesn't know what it is. What is hearing voices? What is he doing now? What are the voices? Is it God or something? He thinks he'll have the voices return after he dies. He likes them, he guesses. He can still write music as well as he heard before he heard voices. Sometimes they tell us what he is doing is incredibly important because of the voices. He doesn't like being different, doing something nobody else. I mean, nobody. He's not really challenging. He just says, I'll have Michelle talk to me, and I seem to be. It can't be. I'm not aware of it at all, yet he seems to be getting what I'm thinking. He's going to keep doing it. The voices tell him they're good, and what he's doing is healthy. It helps that almost nobody believes he's hearing voices. They don't know about it or think he's making it up. Nobody ever talks about it to him. It's very easy for him to do this. It comes as fast as he can write it down. Strange. We'll see you. I just did this. Had Michelle talk to me. supposedly because it seemed a good thing to do. I haven't tried to listen to her or listen to her for a couple of days at least. Well, this is Michelle again. You may be bored writing this, but I'm told people want to hear me babbling on because they don't know how we do this. Whatever. You don't know what you want me to talk about. I didn't like teaching that much because the kids seemed to just like their pop music, rock or something. I took songs off records and made little arrangements of them for the kids. I was a little afraid someone would sue me for copyright infringement. But Ben said, forget it. I played any tune I wished in jazz at the White House, and no one ever hassled me. All sorts of adults come up to me all the time and say, we like singing in Merry Minstrels, my singing group when I taught at Rock Creek and Evie Kane. My brother, Leo, really got nasty with Binns because I got COVID from him, I guess, and he didn't get the vaccine. Leo practically told Binns he was responsible for my death. Untrue. It was a cancer, of course, not even a bad case of COVID. Binns told me to talk about myself. I said, they really want to hear about you. I was a cute music teacher. Binns had me put in cute. I remember Dave, Binns' brother, would always visit his mother's gravesite in Auburn when he and Hildegard and whoever would come to one of Binns' concerts. He visited after the concert and always got to Twin Dragons Chinese restaurant late for our after the concert meal for friends and family. Don't know why that bothered me, and Dave always wanted to take pictures of the musicians after the concert of Binns at the Pioneer Methodist Church. We didn't hire him to take pictures. Having cancer was a drag. Chemo, week after week. Binns would always drop me off and pick me up. I got to be good friends with a lot of nurses at Sutter Hospital who helped do the chemo. Some pain all the time, but I lasted for years and years with colon cancer. 9, I guess Ben says 11. And I got cancer, I always thought, because I kept putting off getting a colonoscopy. Oh well, that's life. I never had radiation. Then hospice at the end when I had dementia. No fun. I was just in a fog. Hardly knew I was alive. Binns felt bad. My friends stopped coming to visit because I could hardly communicate with him. Binns got nurses from hospice to sit with me and try to converse. Actually, that worked out quite well. Yeah, Ben says. Oh. Michelle says, okay, Binns, you're talking to me. I don't want you to know what I'm thinking, but you do. I'm okay here. There's not a lot to do. We think about you all the time. I care about my brothers. I do see everybody up here, but they're all doing their own special things. I can't believe what people seem to care so much about Binns' music. I didn't think it was all that important. Maybe it is. Maybe you didn't want him to be too successful. Maybe I was jealous. Heaven is not at all what they say. It's so big. There's a lot of love. People caring about each other is really all it is. We're constantly looking down on earth. We want to know what's going to happen. Everybody wants the good guys to win. We're hopeful. There's so much good stuff going on. People are waking up to the corruption. We want you to believe we're all here. We don't stop being when we die. I don't talk much to Orville. He was very scientific. I'm not. Hildegard wants Dave to know that she really cares about what's going on. She cares about Stephen and Marcus and Heidi and Megan and Isaac and Victoria and Kylie. She doesn't think much about the big things. She just concentrates on the people she really knows and loves. Binns, your parents are so proud of you. They can't believe how important you are, and Karen too. Mom thinks Dave is a little jealous, but he got such great achieving kids and good people around him. Nobody knows what's going to happen down here. There's really as much suspense here as everywhere else. Michelle says she really thinks she helped me all those years to achieve something, to work at my piano and write music and not get in the way. She wanted me to be successful all those years. She cared more about me than herself. I saved her life twice when she was choking, and she won't forget that. She loved making those Christmas cards. She doesn't think she respected herself enough. She was really good and talented musician, and she had perfect pitch and could give pitches for pieces in the choral groups she was in. That meant a lot to her. She worked so hard to make her home beautiful. She was constantly changing decor with the seasons. She had all those Santas and wreaths. She left her teddy bears. She didn't think Binns noticed all this work, but she did with the decor and also just housekeeping. She hated having cancer because she thinks she could have preventative if she'd only had a colonoscopy sooner. But whatever. It happened. She put up with it for 9 years. Those were the hardest years of her life. But Binns was doing well. She liked David Thorpe. She couldn't believe how hard he worked copying Binns's music. It was beautiful. She liked all of Binns's music, especially the jazz preludes and the jazz piano sonata. She had the feeling she wasn't needed so much with Binns music later on. But she made all those goodies for the Beecher Room concert. Maybe I'm making her say all these things because I want her to talk about me. She was constantly afraid that after she died, there would be nothing. But she didn't really believe that. She prayed to Mary all the time, and she said Hail Marys thousands of times. She didn't like all the weird books Binns read, all the prophet stuff and the channeling stuff. She worked hard for years at her wood-burning work. I had to do something else and stop talking for a while. I'm sorry Binns had to leave. I was just getting going. But everybody else speaks to Binns. Why not me too? I'm not aware that I'm speaking to Binns, but I see what he's writing, so I guess I'm involved. It's okay by me what he does. It's not hurting anyone. I was really good into wood burning for a long time. I sold a lot of things I'd wood burn and sent a lot of items as presents. I wrote stories too and poems, but I wasn't sure they were very good, although I like some of the poems, sort of like Ogden Nash, I think. Our family is in for big times, especially Binns. We can't believe it, but we know it wouldn't have happened except for all of us. Goodbye. Here goes. I'm Mary, the mother of Jesus. It's no big deal for you to ride this way. You think it's nothing. You're just making it up, passing the time. Actually, I believe in you. You're a good man. You think you're important somehow. Then you think you're just babbling away. I love all people. Red, black, brown, white, yellow. They're all God's children. You're going to make it, I think. The good guys are going to win. There's so much evil going around. Fauci, Gates, they think they're doing what's good to deplete the world's population. But you see, they don't believe. They think they're going to die and that's it. They don't see they're playing God. God has things in mind. You're not supposed to change sexes. You're not supposed to change a girl into a boy and vice versa. There was a reason you were born that way. You're fiddling in things. You're going to mess up. You take abortion so lightly. That's the soul. That soul had all sorts of plans to help. Now he or she has to find another mother. Yes, there are too many people in the world right now for there not to be famine and suffering. But you've got to solve it in other ways than killing your unborn. I'm a mother. I see those kids being ripped from the womb. I hurt for them. Stifle yourself. You don't have to have sex all the time. It's okay to masturbate, to have birth control, to use condoms. But if you're impregnated, you probably shouldn't have an abortion. Have the child adopted. Life is so wonderful. There's so much happiness and goodness. The earth is such a beautiful world. You don't have to go to the moon or Mars. It's okay, but it's more important to become enlightened, to pray, to heal people, to love your kids, to fight poverty, to study and learn Shakespeare or the Bible. Just to be in the world, to take walks, to lie in the sun, to talk to people, to care about other people, their kids, their grandkids, what they're doing. Are they athletes or musicians or plumbers? You don't have to worry if they're smarter or more important than the people of the past. There's always something you know or it's new to you. Just because you know some piece of Bach doesn't mean someone else knows. Maybe you can share it, play it for them. It's different than just turning on the radio and listening to Bach. It's a completely other thing to be there when people are playing Bach or Beethoven or some jazz. You don't have to get rid of the old so you can have the new. you always have both the old and the new. Don't worry too much about the vaccine, Binns. People will survive it. Maybe it's not so bad as you think. Maybe a lot of people really meant to help things with the vaccine, although it really didn't turn out that way. It's amazing to you that you and other people got away with saying the things you did about the vaccine in the face of the president and thousands of doctors and nurses. Why would they be so wrong, you think? And so beholden to their jobs that they will say or do anything, even things they know will hurt their patients in order to keep their job. But there are wonderful doctors and nurses. Maybe some even believe in the COVID vaccine, although you think they're being duped. Concentrate on your music. You've written wonderful, beautiful music and play the god of good jazz. Your sister, too, is incredibly talented. You're lucky in your family and friends. If it wasn't for all you working and learning from each other, none of what you do accomplished would have happened. You still have quite a few years ahead of you, Binns. Don't worry about the fact that you can do what you're doing right now, hearing voices. Is it Mary talking in your mind or is your mind playing tricks? You get pleasure doing it. Maybe it's really more important than you know that you have the gift of hearing voices or having dead or alive people talk to you in your mind. You almost weren't going to do this and what you're doing right now. You haven't had anyone speak to you through you for ages. Maybe it's no big deal. It probably is a big deal. You simply don't know anyone else who does it. What you do. Maybe you're just channeling like Pamela Arlen or Elizabeth Powell. But you think they really channel people. You just make it up. Don't worry about it. Maybe your music is more important. Who knows? Yeah, your music is what you care about, not this. You just sit and scribble this. You generally don't do this at all. You do hear voices, merely what you call your spirit guide talks to you. You're really fortunate that you can do this, although you've suffered a lot because you hear voices. Sometimes you think it's really a strange thing to do. Maybe you've done it in other lifetimes. It's a blessing and a curse, but it's more of a blessing. This is Karen. No one believe I'm talking to you. I certainly won't believe it. Michelle seems like such a wonderful person in that so-called talk to you. She cares so much about you. She is so selfless. Why was she that way? Did she really love you that much? I guess so. I really work hard at my poetry. I know nobody reads it. I bet you really read it. You get so heated up when I disparage Israel. The Palestinians are just as important as the Jews. The Jews aren't some chosen people. They're like everybody else, some good, some bad, some stupid, some smart. Why do you hate the vaccine so much? It's people like you that could start a civil war with the vaccines just as a pretext. I mean, people could be killed for what? Under the supposition that the vaccine will cause a catastrophe. Maybe the vaccine has saved millions of lives. Maybe we're opening up because of the vaccine. You're just playing into Trump's hand. Everyone is corrupt. The 2020 election was stolen and Trump won. The vaccine is intentionally going to kill millions of people in a few years. Don't believe anything they tell you. There are all sorts of ballot machines which malfunctioned and gave Trump votes to Biden. You see, you're playing into their hands. I like your music, but it's old-fashioned. It's not original enough to really live on. The stuff that's a combination of classical and jazz is the only music that's really good. Like music, Michelle likes. You're just rehashing the past now, writing variations on old standards. It's already been done hundreds of times. Why don't you find arrangements of the Christmas tunes that Michelle did for chorus? I like them, yeah. The world may end. We could have World War III, but you're not going to get nations to give up their nuclear weapons. It's the only means to keep the United States or other superpowers from taking over smaller nations. You just do this what you can, like having Israel create a non-apartheid nation with the Palestinians and the Jews having equal status. Things like that. I don't mean that you shouldn't write music. So maybe it isn't all that important. People seem to like it. I'm just as talented as you, but you're getting all the accolades lately. Well, does that make you feel good that you put all these words in my mouth? Yes, beautiful memories of your wonderful, beloved wife. I'm Putin. Yes, Binns. Russia is the fall guy. Ukraine is being used. There are a lot of Russians in Ukraine. They side with Russia. Ukraine has a stockpile of chemical biological weapons, which it is planning to use on Russia. You think you're free in America. You're not free. For example, the vaccine everyone is taking has bad side effects and doesn't work that well. Hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin work better than against COVID. You have been forced to take a shot which may eventually cost your life. I just read about journalist James Gordon Meigs, who was abducted by the FBI in April and hasn't been seen since. Nobody talks about it. Could this happen in a free country? The globalists want to control Russia so they can spread their lies about everything, and absolutely no one in the world will be in a position to dispute them. That there is no God, that science is all-knowing, that you must do what the state tells you to do, and that there are not different opinions on anything. There is simply the right and wrong opinion. That your 2020 elections were valid, no one really tries to examine them. We're voting machines tied to the internet. There are a lot of people who want to subvert your election on both sides. They don't want the other side to win, even if they get the votes to win. If people vote to outlaw most abortions, they will try to disqualify those votes. If people discovered Russia, really didn't interfere with your election that much, they would say, of course, Russia really interfered with our election. You accuse me of maybe using the nuclear option, but you won't have diplomatic get-togethers. You won't let me put forth my point of view. You don't have a free press. They have you say what the moneyed interests who control your country wish for them to say. Of course, I just made this up, but that's what my so-called voices said to say, and personally, I don't believe most of the things that are written. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry for Jody. I think she's concluded that I do hear voices, although I still tell anyone whatever I wish. Maybe I'm making up the voices, she thinks. Whatever. Well, whatever she thinks, she does think that it's sort of satanic to hear voices. Most people, certainly most Christians, have little regard for psychics, or those who pretend to be psychics. And then if you made it up, you're a con man who, in this case, conned the military of lots of money. Either she believes I didn't hurt my hand that badly since I can play piano well now, or she thinks I hurt myself to get out of the draft. I tell her I had been in the military and had played at the White House for 6 years before my hand got injured. She can't seem to grasp that. I think the more I listen to my music and arrangements, the better I think they are. What conceit? I know you don't want to know this, but I'll just print it anyhow. CRA Genetics, Genetic Profile, Binns Melander. German, 40.3%. Scandinavian, 19.6%. English, 19.5%. Italian, 7.4%. French, 10.7%. Scottish, 2.5%. Equals 100%. Okay. I'm almost through. You don't have to read this. I just want to print it, and I couldn't think of any Okay, Binns, this is Jesus. Yes, we can talk. I know you don't believe it's me. Maybe I'm up here in Devon. You don't know I'm talking to you, but that doesn't mean there isn't any communication. Nobody believes you're hearing voices. They think you're making it up. Maybe you are. Are there other people who hear voices the way you do? We can't tell you. You think you're alone, and yet all sorts of people talk to you in your head. You don't know if Pamela Arelon does what you do. Yes, the vaccine is bad. Yes, people are going to suffer because of it. It may not really happen for years. You're right never to be vaccinated with the COVID vaccine, any of them. You have practically no freedom in your country or for that matter the world. People are going forced to take the jab or lose their jobs or not be allowed to on planes, buses. Yes, it's easing up now, but who knows, the side effects of the vaccine may start to happen to people in a big way, and they're They'll say it's a new strain of COVID when it's actually just the vaccine. Yes, the Wuhan lab created the COVID virus through gain of function. Maybe they want to kill off a lot of people. Why? To reduce the population. Maybe the vaccine is as bad as the virus. People will suffer tremendously in the near future. You don't know if you're just making this up or I just am telling you this. You are very alone and you have all of us to talk about. Maybe you're nuts. No, you're not nuts, but very few people do what you do, and it scares people. You actually hear you hear people on TV talk to you. You don't have to do this. It's just a game, and 95% a projection of your own thoughts on them. You probably shouldn't do it at all. Maybe there's a whole level of consciousness that people can't believe actually exists. Maybe people are communicating all the time, talking to people in their minds, or in your cases, hearing people talk to you. Very few people actually hear voices or people talk to them. And over 90% of people would think they might be going nuts. You've been told quite a few people now that you're hearing voices, and you don't know what effect it has. Do they think you're making it up? Do they not want to be friends anymore? It's tough on you, but there's no way you can get rid of the voices, nor should you. It's a new mode of communication for you. This is the last one. Yeah. Now, this is not channeling. I'm reading an essay, What is Medical Truth? In this comprehensive, well-documented update, Dr. Russell Baylock pulls no punches. The COVID-19 pandemic is one of the most manipulated infectious disease events in history, characterized by official lies and an unending stream led by government bureaucracies, medical associations, medical boards, the media, and international agencies. We have witnessed a long list of unprecedented intrusions into medical practice, including attacks on medical experts, destruction of medical careers among doctors, refusing to participate in killing their patients, and a massive regimentation of health care led by non-qualified individuals with enormous wealth, power, and influence. For the first time in American history, a president, governors, mayors, hospital administrators, and federal bureaucrats are determining medical treatments based not on accurate, scientifically based, or even experience-based information, but rather to force the acceptance of special forms of care and prevention, including remdesivir, use of respirators, and ultimately a series of essentially untested messenger RNA vaccines. For the first time in history, medical treatment protocols are not being formulated based on the experience of physicians treating the largest number of patients successfully, but rather individuals and bureaucracies that have never treated a single patient, including Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, Echo Health Alliance, the CDC, WHO, state public health officials, hospital administrators, the media, TV, newspapers, magazines, medical societies, state medical boards, and the owners of social media have appointed themselves to be the sole source of information concerning this so-called pandemic. Websites have been removed. Highly credentialed and experienced clinical doctors and scientific experts in the field of infectious diseases have been demonized. Careers have been destroyed, and all dissenting information has been labeled misinformation and dangerous lies, even when sourced from top experts in the fields of virology, infectious diseases, pulmonary critical care, and epidemiology. These blackouts of truth occur even when this information is backed by extensive scientific citation from some of the most qualified medical specialists in the world. And incredibly, even individuals such as Michael Reedon, a retired ex-chief scientist and vice president for the science division of Pfizer Pharmaceutical Company in the UK, who charged the company with making an extremely dangerous vaccine. He is ignored and demonized. Further, he, along with many other high-qualified scientists, have stated that no one should take this vaccine. Thank you. That's it.